The Slave One is one of the most iconic ships from both the original trilogy of Star Wars and the prequel trilogy. We will be discussing what happened to the notorious ship after the events of Return of the Jedi in both Legends and Canon. The Canon version may shock you. Today on Star Wars Fanatic. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with my future releases on Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Jango Fett, and so much more. Also, go ahead and hit that like button to support the channel and the hard work I put into it. Okay, so the Slave One. In Legends, it was a modified Firespray 31 class patrol ship. It was meant as a prototype for a police vessel. It had been modified by both Jango and Boba Fett during their ownerships of the vehicle. They upgraded the weapon systems and tracking to fit their bounty hunting needs. The canon version, in Attack of the Clones, we see Jango flee Obi-Wan Kenobi from Kamino in the Slave One. Kenobi gives chase, and we get to see some of the weapons in action. Near the end of the film, Mace Windu kills Jango, and the ship gets new ownership with Jango's son, Boba Fett. Boba Fett was only around 10 years old when he inherited the ship. He hung around a gang of bounty hunters led by Aurra Sing. During an arc of the Clone Wars animated series, Aurra Sing was piloting the craft and Ahsoka Tano cut off one of the wings, causing it to crash. We didn't see the Slave One much after that until Hondo Ohnaka, the leader of the band of Weequay pirates, showed Boba Fett that he had repaired the Slave One and gave it back to Boba. Now let's fast forward to The Empire Strikes Back. Boba Fett uses the Slave One to track Han Solo, follows him to Bespin, and help the Empire capture Solo as a trap set for Luke Skywalker. Fett transports the frozen Han Solo to Jabba the Hutt in the Slave One. There's a fight above the Sarlacc pit, and Boba Fett gets knocked into it by a blind Han Solo. We don't know exactly in canon where the Slave One was during the Sarlacc bit, but we are a little bit up to speed now. So what happened to the Slave One? I will give the Legends explanation first, then I will jump into what may be canon. Okay, not that there is a short answer, but the shorter answer for Legends is that the Slave One was left in orbit around Tatooine during the fight above the Sarlacc pit. It was impounded by the rebellion and sat in a shipyard for some time. Boba Fett reacquired it, lost it again, reacquired it again, lost it again, and reacquired it yet again, just before the Yuzong Vong War, where Boba Fett earned his place as the Mandalore, or leader of the Mandalorian people. I know a lot of people would like me to spend more time in the Legends aspect of it, but that would be like an hour-long video, and I may do that someday. But there is a point to this one, and that's the canon version. So let's jump to the canon explanation. Well, there's no real explanation of what happened to the Slave One after Boba Fett arrived with Solo in capture at Jabba's palace. We know he had it in that proximity because we saw him loading the frozen Captain Solo into the cargo hold near the end of The Empire Strikes Back. We even forgot about it for a generation and thought it was a nice bit of fan service to include it in Attack of the Clones and the Clone Wars animated series. Then, we didn't put much thought into it again until the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm has brought about some new ideas, some accepted and some not so much. One thing that is a little more accepted than others is the exclusive rights of the video games being given to EA through a contract. Accepted, but not always loved. I'm looking at you, microtransactions. With this licensing, EU teamed up with DICE to bring us Battlefront games 1 and 2. But what does EA's licensing to the video games have to do with the Slave One? Well, I'm getting to that. In 2017, Battlefront II was released. In the more than 2 years it was live, we got updates regularly. It was a solid game, once we got past the opening week of the microtransaction debacle. The game was great, but a lot of fans glossed over one large clue as to the whereabouts of the Slave One. On the map Takodana, just outside of Maz Kanata's castle, there is a spot you can get to on the bigger maps that has the Slave One parked in it. Is this an Easter egg though? No, it is canon. and here is why. When we got the trailer for The Force Awakens, we were introduced to the foyer of Maz's castle. Above are banners hanging. One of those banners is the Mythosaur skull banner. So that means Mandalorians have been there. Maybe not Boba Fett per se. We just don't know that yet. Then, when the new video games were announced, we were told they are absolutely canon. So that means everything in them was canon. This includes the Slave One being parked outside Maz Kanata's castle. This isn't the first item of rarity she has acquired either. Remember, so as with the lightsaber, we don't know how the Slave One made it to her possession, but we do know where it ended up. I'm just glad this iconic ship had not been destroyed. Okay, I showed you what happened to the Slave One. Hopefully, we will get some explanation as to how it got there. Maybe the Mandalorian series will shed some light on it. Or if they decide to do a Boba Fett spin-off series, which I'm really hoping for, whatever happens, I'm here for it. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, hit the thumbs up if you like the content, and leave a comment below if you have a theory as to how Boba Fett's infamous ship ended up on Takodana. Again, thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way. She had Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber.